Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Derek's Travel Chats for April 29th, 2021. I'm Derek Windsor, your host and owner of E&B Travel Service here in St. John's, Newfoundland. Today marks episode number 38 for Derek's Travel Chats. And for those who are new to the show, the show was developed to provide information to you, the traveling public, so that you're able to plan your next vacation, hopefully put a deposit down on something and know that your plans are safe when you're going through them. If you would like to see other episodes of Derek's Travel Chats, you can do so by going to my website. And I see if I can find how I put that up here now, the caption. There you go. There's my website, embtravelservice.ca. Just go to the tab for Derek's Travel Chats and you'll find the other 37 episodes. So hopefully you'll find them informative. Today, we're broadcasting live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and for the first time, on a new one to me, but it's called Twitch. And I hope you enjoy the show and get a chance to look at previous shows, as I just mentioned. As well, since my last show, I'm happy to say that I've been vaccinated and got my first shot and will get my second shot midway through August. And I hope more people are vaccinated. And the sooner that happens, the world can get back to some form of normality prior to the pandemic. So Canada, let's all get vaccinated and hopefully get back to where we want to be. And whether it's got to do with your personal life or just travel or any part of it all, having that vaccination will definitely help all of us. Now, Canada seems to be going through, a third wave, and it's probably at the peak of that third wave. I hope it is, but it's up to us as Canadians, to work together to help flatten that curve. And so this week, as people have seen, I can say I'm very proud as a Newfoundlander that essential workers here from Newfoundland have left Newfoundland to go to Ontario to support the frontline workers at hospitals in the Toronto area where the need is greatest. So it makes me very proud to be a Newfoundlander and know that we're all working together as Canadians and supporting the frontline workers in Ontario, and we may have, and maybe other provinces, and hopefully we don't have a third wave here in Newfoundland that they had to come back. So with that in mind, the last few shows we've been doing a trivia question, but today we're going to give away a prize, a gift card from Boston Pizza. And if you're watching the show and if you know a frontline worker, I want you to put that frontline worker's name, just the first name. I don't want last names, just their first name. So if it's John or Bill or Joe or whoever it might be that you know that works the front line, just put their name in the comments on whatever platform you're watching from. And at the end of the show or later, we will draw one of those names, and then I will contact you to find out who that frontline worker is so that we can provide them with a gift card to Boston Pizza so they can go out and have a meal on behalf of E&B Travel and Boston Pizza. So if you can do that, just drop it in the chat and we will we'll give away a gift card to someone who works on the front line and has been dedicating their work to make sure that we're safe. So also now with that in mind, I have the pleasure of introducing my guest for today. And my guest today is Megan de Barros, and she is with the Velvet Collection. And the Velvet Collection is actually made up of a series of brands with the Travel Corporation, Insight Vacation, Uniworld, River Cruise, Red Carnation Hotels, Luxury Gold, and African Travel. Now, today's show is all about Insight Travel. And so welcome, Megan, to Derek's Travel Chats. It's a pleasure to have you on the show with me.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So how have you been? I know you're in Ontario, and you're having that spike of third wave. So how have you personally been making out with COVID and the brand companies that you're representing? How have you been? How have they been dealing with it?
Right. So, I guess I'll start with the first half of that question. And yeah, being in Ontario is not not the best place to be right now. It is quite tough. Specifically, the biggest city in Toronto. That's where I live, and we have pretty much been in lockdown since November. Nothing has changed. Haven't been able to go to a restaurant. Nothing. So, briefly, stuff will open, but then it'll just shut down about a week or two later. So, hopefully, with the vaccines starting to roll out, we'll get there. And I mean, in terms of the brands that I represent and the travel corporation, things, of course, like anyone else in the travel industry, things were slow, right? The first pretty much year of this pandemic, and even January, February of this year as well. But now we're starting to see things pick up. We're optimistic. We're seeing guests, optimism. And it's all due to the vaccines, right? So we are starting to see stuff fill up, at least for 2022. So yeah, things are starting to pick up now.
Yeah, and like I said, in my, I think there's, we had to work together as Canadians because there's so many different numbers in different parts of in the country, and we went through our little spike there a little while ago, and it was huge with regard to the numbers that we have here in Newfoundland, and you see Nova Scotia now doing the same kind of thing is happening there, with community spread. Hopefully we can get a handle on it, at least get the Atlantic bubble open in Canada for us this year. But it would be so nice to be able to travel, even if we just were able to travel domestically across this country and continue to support each other as citizens of this country, so that people can get back to work and do the things that they'd like to do, and such as go on vacation. And or at least plan for that vacation, because it's all about looking forward to something and having some insight into what you want to do, right?
Exactly. Love that. Love that. Clever.
So I know Insight is part of the Travel Corporation, and some people may be familiar with it, but we're talking about guided vacation. In I guess in the step up to some of the other guided vacations that Travel Corporation also have on their brand list. So, why don't you give us a little idea about Insight and what they have to offer, and how Insight will take them on a different type of vacation?
Yeah, definitely. If it's okay, I'm going to share my screen.
I think we got. Oh, we froze up for a little bit there.
It froze up?
Yeah.
Let me know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah. No, we're back there again now. Okay.
We're good to go?
We're all set to go. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Beautiful. So thank you so much, Derek. Thank you for having me. Before I get started and, talking about Insight Vacations, and who we are as a company and what we do, I just want to leave it at this this slide of the presentation, and I mean those photos, right? They give me shivers. Like I just can't wait until the day, like you mentioned earlier, you know, at least to start planning. Right now we're just in the dreaming phase, right? We can't wait to do that. We can't wait to travel again. We can't wait till things open up. But yeah, I truly cannot wait until we can actually plan and set foot on a plane and in these destinations. And you know, these photos are a true representation of what Insight is all about. And those are actually real client photos. They simply use our hashtag, and then we ask if we can use their photos from their experiences on our trip. So it's just absolutely spectacular.
Beautiful pictures.
Yeah, I love it. So as you mentioned, Derek mentioned, my name is Megan de Barros, and I am the Partner Services Coordinator for Insight Vacations. And I've been at the company for 7 years now. And I'm very excited to share with you today what makes Insight Vacations, you know, so magical. Each of our Insight trips, you know, combine the best experiences in dining, hotels, and sightseeing, you know, to ensure that you return home with unforgettable experiences. I'm just going to go back 1 second. Okay, I had a video there, but it looks like it's not going to work on here, so we'll just skip to the next one, which is no problem at all. So with Insight, you know, you're not just buying a trip, you're signing up for the experience of a lifetime and the opportunity to really make travel matter. We connect you with incredible local people, delicious local cuisine, and of course, you know, those iconic sites that everyone, you know, goes to Europe to see. There are also no queues with Insight Vacations. We bring you to the front of the line, you know, saving you that time and hassle, and of course, more opportunity to explore the destinations. And dining with Insight is also very different. You know, we take you out of the typical hotel restaurants and into this diverse world of different dining styles and experiences, you know, from local restaurants into the homes of local people, farm to table dining, sea to table dining, and I'll get into that a little more later. And you know, we always love to end every trip on a high note with our celebration dinners, where you get to celebrate with all these incredible new people and friends that you've created on trip with us. No matter the dining option, you'll always get a, you know, authentic experience. So here, for example, this is in San Sebastian, and we get to explore the old town with a local foodie, and she takes us on a progressive dining tour. And I like to say it's kind of like speed dating, but for food. So you get to taste a variety of, you know, local specialties such as local tapas and pinchos, and you try it from one restaurant to the next. So with Insight, we have a collection of more than 100 Insight experiences included in our journeys. And across all of our trips, you will dive deeper into a brilliant collection of, you know, authentic and unique Insight experiences that are typically not available to the independent traveler. So here, for example, in this photo, this is in Kilkenny, and we join a professional hurling player. Um, if you don't know what hurling is, think about what hockey is to Canadians. They absolutely love this sport. And we learn about this, you know, Irish national sport. And then the guests have the opportunity to play against one another. And I absolutely love this experience because at first no one, you know, really knows what they're doing. And then by the time the game is done, they're just begging for more time. They absolutely love it. It's just something that you wouldn't do on your own, or maybe even hear about if you did go on your own. And of course, we pride ourselves on our hotels. You know, our hotels are always in the right locations. You know, they're either in the city center where those cultural attractions or local sites are at your doorstep, or we offer, you know, scenic location hotels, you know, which are typically off the beaten path and have spectacular types of views. With Insight, you will stay at a variety of acclaimed hotels, from heritage property hotels like the Bovey Castle in Dartmouth, or the boutique style hotels like Hotel d'Angleterre in Geneva. So I'm going to go over different ways that we travel with Insight Vacations with our most popular trips in these types of travel ways, sorry. So here is one of our best-selling itineraries, Road to Rome, and this is a discovery journey. So what that means is you're visiting multiple cities in one trip, and it's really for maybe that new client who maybe hasn't been to Europe before, and they really want to experience, you know, all they can in one trip, and then, you know, go back more in depth to a city that they really liked or country. And this is an, you know, iconic journey of Europe's bucket list favorites. You know, Paris. We have, you know, the Swiss mountains and the lakes, Venice, Rome. It's just absolutely spectacular. And, you know, on this itinerary, we have VIP access to the Vatican Museum, and we visit the Bramante Staircase, which is actually completely closed to the public. So while our guests are walking in, everyone is wondering, you know, how do I get in there as well? But nope, just Insight guests. And we get to visit, you know, in Paris, the Notre Dame, the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre. We also get to, you know, walk the narrow streets of Old Town Innsbruck, you know, with those spectacular medieval houses. In Switzerland, we visit Stanzerhorn Mountain, right? And it's, you know, just this spectacular journey by cable car and incredible views of Lake Lucerne. And throughout this journey, you know, we get to enjoy scenery as we pass by areas such as, you know, Burgundy, Innsbruck, the mountains, Tuscany, Umbria. It's just an absolutely spectacular itinerary. Another popular itinerary is our Best of Spain and Portugal, and this is a regional journey, so it really focuses on either one or two countries specifically. And here, of course, we visit Spain and Portugal. So just because they're neighbors, and I'm from Portugal, so this itinerary is near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love it. Can't wait to go back. But here, you know, we visit the cobblestone streets of Spain and Portugal, and, you know, the religious buildings and incredible works of arts, and, you know, just how colorful the streets are there. You know, in Granada, for example, we visit the, you know, the Alhambra Palace. You know, while everyone else is waiting in line, you'll be already exploring this spectacular landmark. In Madrid, we witness, you know, the world's finest collections of incredible Spanish paintings in the Prado Museum. In Porto, we get to see those iconic bridges where you see this photo everywhere. It's typically on a you know, a postcard. That's exactly the image when you go to Porto. That's what you see, and it just looks like a postcard. And, you know, we visit these iconic bridges and these buildings that are decorated with tiles. These Portuguese tiles, which are absolutely incredible. It's just so colorful and eye-catching. You know, in Barcelona, we visit the Sagrada Familia. And of course, we get to visit one of the world's holiest sites in Portugal, and that is, of course, Fatima. And, you know, on this,
I have
yeah,
a question for you too.
yeah,
So Portugal is St. John's is known to be the most easterly point of North America, and Portugal has a similar distinction, having the
right,
most westerly point. Can you point
right.
that out on the map
The most westerly point?
of Europe? Yeah,
Sorry, did you say you wanted me to point it out on the map?
yeah. Are you able to point it out there on the map?
I don't know if you can see. Hold on one second. Hold on. Do you see my mouse?
Yes, yeah.
Well, I think it would be, it should be around the coast, I believe. I'm not quite sure, Derek, to be honest, but it should be somewhere there.
Yeah, I forget the name of it now, but
Yeah. You know what? I don't know it off the top of my head, but I definitely want to get back to you on that because I'm curious now too. I don't know everything, but I'll
okay.
definitely find that out for you.
All right.
Perfect. So let's see. Okay, here we go. So we also have our country roads of Croatia. And of course, this is a country roads itinerary. And country roads itineraries are off the beaten path. So you still get to visit, all the destinations, all the iconic sites that you would normally see, but we take you off the beaten path to these places. So you get to see much more than if you were doing it on your own. We get to visit the beautiful landscapes and islands of Croatia. We get to, enjoy scenery from the Adriatic coast, the Dalmatian coast, the Plivici lakes. And on this itinerary, I mentioned with our dining options, we have seat to table type dining. And on this itinerary, we actually get to meet a local oyster farmer, and he takes us on his boat, picks fresh, well, he brings us to his oyster beds and picks these oysters fresh from the sea, cleans them up on the spot, sprinkles some lemon on it, and you get to enjoy it with some local wine. And oysters or seafood aren't for everyone. That's completely understandable. Myself, I'm not a big seafood person, even though I am from Portugal, but I love wine. If you don't like either, you're enjoying, the spectacular sunset on a boat in Croatia. You can't go wrong. And, we also offer a relaxing cruise around the Bay of Dubrovnik. In Zagreb, we visit the medieval upper town, and we visit the former presidential palace, Stone Gate, St. Mark's Church, and of course we also get to cruise the Croatian islands, such as Hvar, Korčula, Stone, and it's a never-ending list. And here, another popular trip is our Easy Pace Budapest, Vienna, and Prague trip. And this is an easy pace itinerary. So what that means is you're spending a minimum of 3 nights in each destination. So you really get to enjoy the destination at a very relaxed pace, and you don't feel rushed at all, and you get to see everything that you want to see. So here, we get to visit and explore these 3 incredible capitals with magnificent cathedrals, palaces, and castles. And in Vienna, we have a private tour of Schönbrunn Palace. It's absolutely spectacular. The courtyard. I've been there. I did an insight trip and visited, and it's just the architecture, the art, the garden. It just goes on for days. It was never ending. It's just spectacular. In Budapest, we visit Fisherman's Bastion, and I visited it, and the views are just absolutely spectacular. You get to see the west side and the east side of Budapest, and they say the Buda is the west and the Pest is the east, and you get to see views of each. And on this trip, we also get to visit the medieval streets of the fairy tale town, Český Krumlov, and it's just it literally looks like a fairy tale when you're in it. Nothing looks real, even though it is. It's just absolutely spectacular. So I'm just going to go over some of the benefits of guided vacations, and why choose Instead, and kind of what makes us different. So, when traveling on your own, or, maybe on a large cruise ship, you can be exposed to thousands of other travelers. But on a guided vacations with Insight, you have this small group of incredible people who form this protected travel bubble. And on top of that, every guest and team member will be required to fill out a well-being declaration form prior to joining the trip. So your clients will travel with the same group of amazing people that form this protected travel bubble, and they'll be with them from start to finish, including the travel director and the coach driver as well. And of course, we're very selective in who we work with, and choose only to use hotels, restaurants, ground handlers, any suppliers that take the health and well-being of our guests as seriously as we do. And we only work with establishments that, we are confident that will adhere to these high standards that we have. And exclusive to Insight, which you probably all know and love about Insight, is, of course, our smaller groups. We travel in our customized coaches with fewer seats. All of our coaches have been customized, so we only have a maximum of 40 seats on our coach. So we have twice the leg room, twice the view. You just get to sit back, relax, enjoy the panoramic views, while your driver takes you around your destination. And new going forward, we have introduced a well-being director, and this is our commitment to provide each of you with a greater sense of comfort and care, when you do travel with us. And our well-being directors will be on every single trip of more than 20 guests, and it's actually the first of its kind in the industry. And our well-being directors will be responsible for the personal support and assistance of all the guests, responsible for the quality assurance of all of our suppliers, hotels, venues, restaurants, and of course the daily monitoring of physical distancing and hygiene standards. So as I mentioned, they'll be on every trip of more than 20 guests, but don't worry, the travel director will still be there as well. But the travel director will get to solely focus on what they know best, and that's the destination itself. So I'm very excited to introduce to you our smaller group sizes. Insight has always been known for smaller groups, but now we've introduced even smaller ones. Hard to believe, I know. So of course, we still have our classic group, which is, everyone's known, come to know about Insight Vacations. They average about 33 guests with a maximum of 40. Just to put that into perspective, I mentioned a few slides back that our coaches have been customized. So that's where the maximum of 40 comes from. On an average coach, there are 50 seats. So the average tour operator can have up to 50 guests on their trip, but our maximum is 40. And new for this year, we're introducing small groups, and these are a maximum of 24 guests. And these are available on select departures on all of our trips. And these are perfect for guests who want, a more intimate and comfortable experience. And then another innovation is small private groups. So with just as few of 12 travelers, you can reserve the entire coach on any of our departure dates for any trip. And this is just for you and your small group of friends and family. And with this small private group, you get all the benefits of an Insight trip, but for your own private group. So at Insight Vacations, we believe we can make travel matter, and we are actually founding members of the Tread Right Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization that, mainly focuses on sustainable projects through three main pillars, which is people, wildlife, and planet. And we like to, safeguard the people and places we visit to ensure that they remain vibrant for generations to come. So with that being said, we have introduced our Make Travel Matter experiences that are on our trips. And these experiences actually support 11 of 15 global goals for sustainability. And these have been chosen with great care, and they have been endorsed by, sustainable tourism experts. And I just want to go over one of our projects, and that is in Seville. So you may or may not know, Seville is known for the flamenco. It's why people go to Seville. And on all of our itineraries, we always visit a flamenco show. It's absolutely spectacular. You get to enjoy, your dinner with drinks, and you watch the entertainment, which is absolutely spectacular. And we thought, what, we can do something better. So we ventured out and we found a flamenco school called Christina Heron Foundation. And at the foundation, of course, there are students who are practicing the beautiful tradition and, of course, studying the history of the flamenco. And we found out that students couldn't continue their education due to financial barriers. And what the Treadwright Foundation has done is given grants to these students to be able to continue, this beautiful tradition. And now, instead of, the typical flamenco show, we now visit on our trips that visit Seville. We visit the Christina Heron Foundation. We get to do a dance lesson with them, which is absolutely, they make it look so easy, but it's really not. I didn't know what my body was doing, but it's just such a unique experience. And then they invite us back later for an intimate flamenco performance at the school. So it's just absolutely spectacular. So, at Insight Vacations and the Travel Corporation, our team and our guests' well-being is our top priority. And, when you are ready to travel again, you can travel with us, rest assured that we have put numerous new measures in place to elevate, our hygiene standards and protocols. So to start off, our travel directors have all been newly trained in new and enhanced hygiene and physical distancing procedures. During your trip, they will ensure that these standards are maintained. And we will also make sure that you are well informed about, any new protocols or anything that comes up in the areas that you are visiting. And, it's not just your travel director or well-being director or driver who will be taking care of you. Behind the scenes, we have this incredible care team, our operations team, our guest relations team, our reservations team, and they're available to you 24/7. So you can, be rest assured that you are in good hands at all times. And, when you are ready to book, we want you to book with confidence. And it's so easy to secure your spot with us. We offer free 3-day complimentary holds. If something comes up, you have the flexibility to change your trip within 30 days of departure. Our peace of mind promise represents our financial stability. We have been here over 100 years. We will be here for the next 100. We are not going anywhere. So your money is safe with us. And of course, we are committed to your well-being. And I just wanted to let you know about an offer that we have going on. So when you are ready to book, and you kind of pass that dream point and you're ready to start planning, we want to help you get back to what you love. And that's with our Get Back to What You Love program. It's a significant savings of $750 per person. And this is available until June 3rd, and it's for travel until November of 2022. So you can book this year, hopefully, closer to the end of the year, maybe we'll be able to travel once Canada gets all the vaccinations, but it is open until November of 2022 anyways. And that's it from me. Thank you so much for anyone who has joined in, has taken the time to listen. And back to you, Derek.
Well, thank you very much, Megan. It was a wonderful presentation. Cabo de Roca is the name of the location in Portugal.
Oh, there we go.
Cabo de Roca.
Okay.
I think that's how you pronounce it. I had to look it up. I know I had heard the name before when I did a trip in Spain. And
I'm disappointed. I should have known that, considering I'm from Portugal, but can't know everything.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, the biggest thing is hoping that people will take their vaccinations and as you say, go from dreaming to planning. So that's the hope for today, and it's also saluting our frontline workers and doing everything that they're doing to make us safe or keep us safe, and hopefully get us back to where the curve is flattened dramatically, and that those who make those decisions are able to open up the skyways and the border so people can freely go back and forth to different countries and do it with confidence. So
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Again, I say to people, if you know a frontline worker, please drop that person's first name in the comments, and hopefully we'll be able to give away a gift card.
Love
So,
that.
Yeah, and hopefully make somebody happy and feed them at the same time.
It's, you know what? It's the little things that matter most right now. It's crazy how much we took advantage of, so many little things. And now we're just missing everything like crazy, right? Even something like a crowded airplane.
Yeah.
So, sometimes we used to complain, but now I would do anything to be on a crowded airplane.
Yeah, you come to appreciate them when we're able to get back to it. So
Exactly.
well, again, thank you very much, Megan, and it was great having you here. And hopefully we'll get together and talk some more very specific itineraries later in the process, and when people are starting to really start to plan more. So thank you very much for being part of this today.
Oh, thank you so much. And I do look forward to chatting with you more.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, oh, I turned off the wrong screen. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us. And next week, my guest will be from the Tourism Association of Thailand. So if you're interested in that part of the world, please join us same time on Thursday next week at 3 p.m. Newfoundland time, 1:30 Eastern, and we'll talk about Thailand. So everyone have a great afternoon, stay safe, and we'll see you next week.